All right, everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm Gavin, and today we are going to cover why it sucks to constantly drive things that you have to work on. So as most of you probably have known or seen in some of my videos, I have this 2004 Chevy 3500 one-ton dump truck. Overall, not terrible shape. I bought it 2 years ago to replace the C30 1981 square body dump truck I had, because I needed four-wheel drive. Well, as you can probably see in this video, there's a big puddle underneath it. I went to turn the truck on the other morning and it was -14 here, and the power steering said, "Not today, Gavin, not today." So while the power steering is really not that big of a deal, there are some other things on here like cab corners, rockers, cross members, and just some other components that also need attention, including but not limited to the hitch plate, which I bought a new hitch plate. I just never actually installed it yet. So I finally said enough's enough. I can't keep doing this. I work on my tractors, I work on other people's tractors, I work on my heavy equipment, I work on other people's heavy equipment, I work on my vehicles, and I drive a dump truck as a daily driver, and that's that. I went and bought a brand new 2025 GMC Sierra. It is a 3500 HD. It is only a 6.6 gas. It's not a diesel, but it has the Allison's transmission, 10-speed, which I am pumped about. It is just the Pro package, which essentially is just the new name for the work truck. But I'm in love with the thing. I literally just picked it up last night. I'm gonna be putting a headache rack on here. I'll get my transfer tank in here, my toolbox in here. It is the 8-foot bed, so I'll still have some room to put other materials and put other things in there that I need. But overall, I am super happy. In the 12 years that I've been driving, this is the first very new, brand new vehicle that I have ever owned. All right, everyone, so I've had the truck for almost nearly a month. In that time frame, I've only gotten to about 800 miles on it. We're just finally getting a little bit warmer weather, so everything's starting to melt. So the truck does have some dirt and grime on it, but I hope to take that through the car wash or self-wash here soon. But today, what I wanted to touch base on is we are going to be going to our first job hauling our excavator. Now this truck is set up to tow 16,000 pounds from the rear of the truck, or 18,000 and like 200 pounds if it had a gooseneck. Fortunately, this whole setup here is only 14,000, so we'll have no issues. One thing that I wanted to mention, in the first 800 miles of having this truck, first month, I was noticing a clunking noise coming from the rear of the truck. I did take it back to the dealership. They did give me this bulletin. There is a known issue for these trucks, some of them from 2015 on up, some of them from 2019 on up. And the resolution here, according to this bulletin, is these rubber spacers that go between the leaf springs and then retorquing all the suspension. So I had the dealership fix all that stuff for me. There's rubber spacers in there now, and I have not heard any noises since. So if you have a brand new truck having a clunking noise in there, definitely take it to your dealership. It is a known issue. Apparently it's not large enough of a problem to do a full-blown recall because not enough people have turned it in, but being around old trucks and things that I constantly have to work on, when I buy a brand new truck, I definitely don't want to be having to fix the thing, especially in the first month. So definitely go to your local dealership and get it checked out. Anyway, let's get this excavator loaded up. All right, so this is the first time loading the excavator on the truck, and instantly I can see that I definitely did not have the hitch high enough. All right, she's all strapped down, ready to go. We got our chains and binders on all four corners. We got a strap over our bucket. Let's see what the old GMC 3500 HD Pro can do. This ground is definitely breaking up pretty easily. It was like 50 degrees out today. So I'll kind of say it's almost equivalent to sand right now. So I might have to back up, get a little running head start in four-wheel drive, get us up the hill. I did take all the ice off the hill, so it would melt back to gravel. So hopefully we don't have any issues. Well, let's see. Put it in neutral, get us in four-wheel drive. Turn that off. And we want to check our gain. Right now we are at about nothing. Let's put it at 4 for now. We're in 4 high. Let's back this old girl up some so we have a little bit more of a running head start from a flat surface. Okay, turn off traction control in case we got to get the tires spinning. Let's do it. All right, so I will say, as soon as we hit the gravel, truck had absolutely no problems getting up the hill. I'm just gonna make sure we're out of four-wheel drive here quick, but at this point we can head towards the job site. All right, so the project at hand today is we got to get this stump out. There was a tree here. They just recently cut it down, but it's actually impacting the foundation inside the house. So it is going to be a pretty crappy job. As you can see, the tree has grown into this block wall and the foundation of the house for many years. And now we need to try to excavate it. Not to mention the fact that we are coming off of, you know, a lot of frost. Today, we're going to be installing a diesel transfer tank and a toolbox in my brand new pickup truck. Now, I hate the idea of drilling holes in a brand new truck. However, it's the best possible way to do it for safety reasons. Some people use straps and stuff, but just don't really feel comfortable with that in case the strap breaks or loosens up. I ran and got some more hardware in order for us to complete this install. Like I said, the only reason I needed all this extra stuff is because I don't have the original studs. If you have the studs when you first buy this, it's a lot faster. You don't have to mess around with all this. But essentially what I'm doing, just to give you guys an idea, is this, like that. And then this goes on here. And just to show you, this is essentially the setup. This whole portion is above the tank, then the tank flange goes right there. This bolts underneath it with a bevel washer right here, and then that gets tightened down on the actual truck bed, and we cinch this up. So this way the bolt acts like a stud, but also retains the tank. So let's get the other three here installed, and then we'll throw the toolbox in and try out those underbed clamps. All right, we got all four corners mounted. Unfortunately, that one back there, since it landed on the rib, I couldn't do the same setup underneath it like I did with these. But 3 out of the 4, exactly the way I intended. It's good enough for me. So let's get the toolbox over here, set it in here, and see what those clamps are like. Now, the clamp kit only comes with 2 clamps. I assume that means 1 for each side, but I don't know, I'm kind of skeptical. I might buy a second package and do 2 clamps on each side. I mean, I don't plan on putting an overly heavy load inside the toolbox, but I feel like 1 clamp on each side is not quite enough. So let's get the let's get the toolbox over here and set it in place. All right, she's pretty dusty, but we got her sitting in there. We got to center it left and right a little bit, and then we also got to open up the lid to make sure we can fully open the lid. You have to kind of leave yourself some space here for when it hinges open. Otherwise, you won't be able to open it all the way, and it'll get really annoying when you're taking stuff in and out. So let's see if we can get it centered a little better. All right, so the kit contents is just basically a long Allen screw with a kind of a weird shaped washer, and then just an aluminum block. It's got a taper on one side and some ridges to catch the sheet metal bend, and it's just going to attach like that and hold the toolbox. So let's get this one installed. All right, that's tightened down. This is tightened down. Like I said, I think I'm gonna buy a second set of those. I mean, it says that it's to clamp down any crossover toolbox, but I think I'd feel personally a little bit better if I had 2 more clamps. But Other than that, oh look at, there's actually mounting hardware in here too that I never even looked at. The toolbox is in, the fuel cell is in, and all we gotta do is wire it up. All right, so one thing I remember about this pump when I last had it in service was it used to leak around here. I don't know if it was this fitting or if it was the one that goes into the tank, but regardless, I know there was some thread sealant, like Teflon tape on there, but I got some new stuff, so we're gonna take that off, clean it up, coat it. This way we can try to eliminate any messes from there, or even the fill port. So let's get that off of there. That wasn't even that tight. All right, that's all tightened up. It's all good. Now, I don't know why it did this, but the pump handle here got all nasty and like the plastic on it or rubber is like deteriorating. I'm assuming because it's probably made up of some cheap materials. So I do want to try to get a different cover for it. Just, I gotta try to locate one. Kind of silly to change out the whole handle when you're just trying to change the look of the handle and not make it so sticky anymore. But our next step is we got to get the electric hooked up to it. On the bed there are actual little pockets down in here that are plastic. I know it's probably impossible for you guys to see, but I plan on going through one of those, going down the front of the bed, underneath the length of the truck, and into the engine bay. I haven't popped the hood yet to see what all it's looking like in there. Hoping to either go to an auxiliary stud on the battery or maybe a stud from the fuse box. All right, so my plan for the wiring here is this inline fuse is just clamped on anyway, so I'm probably gonna cut that so this way I can get back to just the regular size diameter of the cable. And then this is the plastic knockout that's in the front of the bed. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna take a drill bit, drill a hole through the center of it, and then I'm gonna install a rubber grommet just so it's nice and clean. Then the power line will go right through that, and we can figure out how to route the cable down underneath the truck cab and up to the engine bay. All right, that actually kept it nice and clean. Now let's see if this rubber grommet's gonna work. It actually looks like it's gonna work out perfectly for what we're doing. So let's see if we can feed the wire back through this and get it hooked up. All right, so I ran the cable down, went through the bed, down the back side of it. I put a one of those sticky straps you can zip tie to at the very bottom of the bed. I ran it underneath the truck along the frame rail, came up into the engine bay, and I tapped into this stud here because there's already a bolt on or a nut on it. It looks like I can put the wiring in here and tuck the fuse in there. Well, that should be good to go. So I don't want to burn up the pump, but I do want to just double check to make sure it works. So let's do a real quick test and see. Yep. The pump works. So the wiring is good. The tank is installed. The pump is turning on. I do need to get another set of supports or clamps for this. Leaning against this, the whole bed moves, or the whole toolbox moves, and I don't want that. As soon as I put weight in there, like tools and stuff, if I accelerate too fast, I'll have this thing all the way back here at the tailgate, and that is not what I want. So. Super happy that this is all installed now. Eventually I'll get a headache rack. I did leave myself space to put the headache rack in here. I have been designing a custom one. I know you can go online and buy various different brands, and that's what you see everybody has on their vehicle, but I kind of want to be different. So I've been modeling up my own, and I'm going to see if I can get somebody to CNC plasma cut the center section out and maybe put my logo and stuff in there. So but yeah, so stay tuned for that. Overall, I've had my truck now for probably a little over a month. Love it. I am so happy that I finally went and bought a new vehicle. I towed my excavator with this. I towed my roller with this. No problems, no complaints at all. I am so happy. The only thing I had mentioned, there was a noise in the suspension, but the dealership was able to straighten that right out. They knew exactly what to do, so that was great. So overall, very, very happy. Well, anyway, guys, thanks for watching. If you like this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up, hit that like button down below, and stay tuned for any of the future videos when I get a headache rack for this truck, or just any other videos on the channel. Can't do this without you guys, so thank you very much, and we'll see you in the next one. Time to test out the old fuel pump. Yep, it's gonna work. Got some lovely weather. It absolutely pours for a couple seconds and then it stops and gives you this false sense that it's done. And then it starts pouring on you again, like right now. enough of that.